Tonight, Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens on the defense, responding to complaints that his office and top city leaders were involved in potential criminal wrongdoing.
Staff members from the Office of the Inspector General are asking for whistleblower protections after they published these allegations in a letter to state law enforcement authorities. We start with Atlanta News First senior reporter Patrick Quinn, live from City Hall. You spoke one-on-one with the mayor about the complaints. So how does he defend himself?
Mayor Andre Dickens, he told me that these allegations against him, against other top leaders here in the city of Atlanta, are just that. They're allegations, they're complaints. He said that his office is going through them one by one. We pulled Mayor Andre Dickens aside today at a ribbon cutting for a separate event. We spoke for a few minutes. He defended his city and the transparency of his office.
If you've been investigating for 2 or 3 years and you haven't actually found anything, then there's nothing there.
Nothing to see here. That was the message from Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens after 5 current and former staff members of the Office of the Inspector General released this letter detailing potential criminal wrongdoing by the mayor and top city leaders. I pressed him on these complaints.
Are you concerned that you're mentioned, your cabinet members are mentioned, improper use of city funds are outlined? How impactful is that for you as an office?
Yeah, so again, it was a complaint. It is not necessarily found to be true. So the IG who quit her job 2 weeks ago is now slinging mud.
There has been a lot of mud slung, but the mayor is right. These allegations are just complaints. Nothing has been substantiated. But the staff members called on the FBI, U.S. Attorney's Office, and State Attorney General to take up the case after Atlanta's IG, Shannon Manigault, resigned last month.
Our team has started looking into these allegations as well, reviewing publicly available information. One complaint alleges, quote, the city of Atlanta is awarding jobs and contracts to individuals that contributed to the mayor's election campaign. Public records show 4 current board members of the nonprofit Star C have given $13,050 to Mayor Dickens' campaign, including most recently, founder of Star C, Margaret Stagmeyer, gave $3,300 in May 2023. 5 months later, in October, Star C received a $2 million donation from the city towards an eviction diversion program. I reached out to Star C and have not heard back.
And it widens out. A second complaint alleges a deputy fire chief used city equipment and city workers for his own business, Executive Safety Concepts, LLC. Public records showed this fire chief does have a business under that name. Again, these are allegations that the Office of the Inspector General was investigating. On Friday, the city announced an interim IG, LaDawn Blackett, who told me in an emailed statement she hasn't decided which cases she'll pursue, adding, quote, my priority is to get this office back on track. Former Atlanta City Council President Felicia Moore appealed to the City Council that Blackett's hiring was against the city charter, arguing the city's watchdog, even an interim, should not be handpicked by the officials it's investigating. Moore told me today it's left her without confidence in the city's office's ability to responsibly police itself.
At this point, I don't have any because right now it's being run by the executive branch, the mayor's office, and the city attorney's office, and it's not independent.
For Dickens, he disputes the allegations and says he wants the Office of the Inspector General to be successful. The city depends on it.
For me, I want us to always have an inspector general that looks out for waste, fraud, and abuse and investigate and close out investigations.
Can they still do that? Can they still do that? With the new legislation that's passed, can they still do all of that?
Absolutely. The new legislation enables them to be able to investigate, to still issue subpoenas, but they have to do it in the right way.
And let me break down the process of the Inspector General. When they get a complaint, they look into it. If there's not enough evidence, they throw that complaint out. If there is sufficient evidence through a discovery phase, a multi-level discovery phase, that complaint is elevated to an investigation. Tonight, the Office of the Inspector General told me that every single one of the allegations in the letter yesterday rose to the level of an investigation. Live outside Atlanta City Hall, Patrick Quinn, Atlanta News First.
Now, the entire Atlanta News First Investigates team is looking into the letter from the Inspector General's staff.
While answers to some questions may take weeks, even months, one thing is clear to our chief investigator, Brendan Keefe. He's here now with an analysis of what the letter really says about accountability in Atlanta's city government. Brendan.
Yeah, this 4-page letter itself is proof the system is broken. The Office of the Inspector General was created to be an independent watchdog. But its year-long battle with the mayor and city council while investigating both ultimately led to the resignation of the Inspector General herself. And now 5 staffers have asked for whistleblower protection in their letter to the FBI. The challenge for us to substantiate any of the 10 major allegations in it is that the Inspector General investigations were in various states of completion, and upon closer inspection, many of the dots are loosely connected. Instead of phrases like found evidence that proves that this happened, no, it says evidence that suggests. And instead of writing the mayor coordinated a payment, they say the mayor appears to have coordinated a payment. Big difference. There's also no attribution for major claims, saying only that it appears one of 2 businesses may belong to a relative of a city employee. The word alleges appears 7 times throughout the 4-page letter, with no mention of who is alleging what. The only attribution is sometimes an anonymous complaint. To find out if they're true, Atlanta News First Investigates is filing records requests with the city, but the irony is that referring these cases to the FBI with this letter, the Inspector General's staff may have inadvertently kept those records from public view because the city can refuse to release those records that are part of a criminal investigation.